Welcome to Talkin' Shit, the podcast where we get real about the unfiltered truths women face in the quest for perfection. I'm Jana, your host, a dietitian and fellow woman navigating the pressure to have it all together, the perfect body, career, relationships, and making it all look effortless. Who set that standard anyway? Here, we're calling out the diet fads, hustle culture, beauty standards, and everything else that keeps us feeling stuck. But we're not just venting, we're diving into how to break free and rewrite the rules on your terms. So, grab a coffee or a glass of wine and let's talk some shit. Together, we'll uncover how to live a life that's unapologetically yours. This is Talkin' Shit. Let's dive in. Before we get into today's episode, I want to take a quick moment to share something special with you. If you're tired of dieting and feeling like food has more control over your life than you'd like, I want you to know there is another way. Inside my monthly membership, the Healthy Body Collective, women are losing weight and they're healing their relationship with food, balancing their blood sugar, and finally feeling confident and in control of their bodies again. This isn't about restriction, perfection, or quick fixes. It's about learning how to eat, how to support your metabolism, and how to build habits that actually work in real life. If you're ready for sustainable weight loss, calmer cravings, and support that truly meets you where you are, I would love to welcome you inside. You can learn more and join the Healthy Body Collective through the link in the show notes, or feel free to send me a DM on Instagram if you have any questions. Now, let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to the podcast. March is officially National Nutrition Month. And so, of course, I wanted to do something that was nutrition themed, right? Like I'm a dietitian, but I have a very different angle that I'm taking for this month. The theme for National Nutrition Month is Discover the Power of Nutrition. But I wanted to change it up per usual and take or see nutrition through a different lens. But before I get into that for today's episode, I wanted to give you all an update. For the first year of the Talkin' Shit podcast, I showed up on a weekly basis. We put out weekly episodes, which were fantastic. Over 52 episodes for 52 weeks of 1 year celebrating the Talkin' Shit podcast. And now that we're moving into year 2, and now that I have more responsibilities and have really expanded my practice, I am reassessing where I'm using my time, energy, and the podcast. I'm still going to be doing the podcast, but I'm changing up the frequency in which I'm doing it. So instead of a weekly podcast, I'm going to be putting out 2 podcasts every month. Now, that may be 2 in a row, it may be 2 every other week, but it's going to be 2 per month is what you can expect. I will be promoting them on Instagram and Facebook. So if you follow me there, I'll definitely share with you. Or if you continue to subscribe, which I highly encourage you to do, click subscribe. You'll get those notifications when new episodes are live. So a little change up because, like I said, my practice has expanded. I now accept insurance, and that is requiring more of my time, energy, and attention. And so I don't want to burn myself out, and I want to be mindful and respectful of my time. And so I need to make some adjustments, but I wanted to let you guys know here that the podcast is still very much so going to keep moving forward, and we're going to make some adjustments. All right. So let's get into the topic for today of discovering the power of nutrition. So today's episode might challenge the way you've been thinking about health. Yay, that's the goal of this podcast, is to challenge that way of thinking, or maybe affirm the way that you think. Because we are not just talking about weight loss with this one. We're not just talking about your metabolism. We're not talking about what to eat. We're talking about something much bigger and deeper. Today, we're talking about the idea that health is your greatest asset. And if that's true, then poor health might be one of the most expensive liabilities you will ever carry. So let's talk about the financial power of nutrition. So, like I shared a little bit earlier, March is National Nutrition Month with the theme being Discover the Power of Nutrition. And while I love the healing, nourishing, fueling power of food, I also think we don't talk enough about how nutrition sits at the cornerstone to what holds women back from more than just a skinny body, but from their financial power. When we think about assets, you might think about real estate, investments, retirement account, businesses, savings. We think about things that grow over time, like that idea of compound interest, if you've heard of that. But what if your body is your first investment? Your health determines how much energy you have, how consistently you show up, how clearly you think, how long you can work, how well you perform, how much you can even earn, and how long you can enjoy what you've actually built. You cannot separate your health from your earning capacity, leadership, confidence, and longevity. And yet, so many women treat their health like it's optional or something they'll do tomorrow or next Monday or in the beginning of the year. And also, so many women see it like it's cosmetic, just based on what you look like. Your health is not about fitting into your genes. Okay, maybe there's a portion of fitting into your genes, but it's also about your ability to live, lead, and build. So let's talk about the financial side. Poor health costs money in ways we don't always immediately capture. Increased medical bills, medications, lost productivity, time off work, decreased performance, burnout, chronic fatigue, emotional stress, reduced career advancements. I've heard so many women share with me that they don't go for that promotion because they don't like the way that they look. They feel like they are just going to be judged based on how, and I'm air quoting, fat they are. And beyond money, there's also opportunity costs, such as, and I want you to think about this for yourself, of what opportunities have you turned down because you were exhausted? Or what leadership roles did you hesitate to take because you didn't feel confident? Like I said, I've had so many women share that they did not step into that leadership role because they did not like how they looked and they feared people judging them. Or how many times have you told yourself, I'll start later because you don't feel good? That is a cost. And here's the hard truth: poor health, it compounds over time. Just like financial debt, or just like your investments, you can ignore it for a while, but eventually it collects interest. Or if we're moving in the right direction, it also compounds itself, such as your investments, and it can be, again, one of your greatest assets. So let's flip it. What happens when you nourish your body properly? When you eat balanced meals, when you regulate your blood sugar, you support your metabolism, you hydrate consistently, you move your body daily, you support your nervous system to feel calm and safe and secure. You actually experience more stable energy, clearer thinking, better mood regulation, reduced inflammation, improved metabolic function, fewer cravings, better sleep, greater confidence. The list can go on. That is a return on investment. Nutrition is not an expense. It's really the foundation that allows everything else to grow. You wouldn't build a house on a cracked foundation and expect it to last, right? Why are we trying to build businesses, careers, and families on depleted bodies? This is where it gets a little bit deeper. When you invest in your health, you actually change your family tree. Because if you have children, they are watching. They're watching how you eat, how you talk about your body, how you manage your stress, how you prioritize yourself. And they're also watching how you don't prioritize yourself. If you are constantly dieting, restricting, exhausted, and stressed, they learn that. If you nourish your body, set boundaries, and treat health like a priority, they learn that too. Health is actually generational wealth. Nutrition knowledge is power. Healthy bodies create stable homes. This is bigger than calories. This is actually legacy work. If you've been viewing health as a weight loss project, a short-term goal, something to do when life slows down, it's time to really shift that belief. Health is not separate from wealth. Health actually supports wealth. Health supports your leadership. Health supports your confidence. Health supports your longevity. And the truth is, you can rebuild money. You can't easily rebuild damaged health. So, as I close out for today's podcast, ask yourself these questions. If your body is your greatest asset, are you managing it wisely? Or if your health compounds over time, what habits are you investing in daily? And if you treated your body like a high-value asset, which it is, what would you do differently this week? I hope that you find this podcast to kind of get you to think a little bit, to see health and nutrition in a different way, to see how it really is so powerful and can truly impact your life in many different ways beyond the plate. I would love to hear your thoughts on this podcast. So as always, please feel free to email me at email address in the show notes. Or if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, feel free to send me a message there and I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, until next time, keep talking shit. This has been Talking Shit. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up or leave a review on the Apple Podcast app. If you want more episodes, click that subscribe button. And if you want to learn more, visit healthwins.org. Talkin' Shit is produced and hosted by me, Jana. This production is also made possible by the Community Media Access Collaborative. Learn more at cmac.tv. See you next time.